Thanks to route setting, people get to try different climbs every week in the comfort of a climbing gym, making it the core of indoor climbing. There are so many different sides and aspects to it that we'd need a whole series of videos to give it a proper insight. So that's why in today's video I'm just going to talk about my experience being a route setter apprentice. A couple of months ago I became one of the junior route setters in my gym, which means that I'm a route setter in training. So at the moment I help here and there with the setting process while I learn how to set. A setting day starts by stripping the wall you're gonna set on. Everyone helps with this, and once there's a bunch of holes and volumes on the mats, I can start washing them. Washing holes is one of the first duties you take on as a route setter apprentice. It isn't great, but someone has to do it, and I guess it is a vital part of the process. It is kinda like washing rice at a sushi restaurant. I always use that metaphor. Anyway, like I've just said, it isn't the most fun part of the process, although it can be satisfying at times. You basically have to wash off the chalk from the holes so that you can use them again to set new blocks. When you finish washing, you'll feel so relieved that you'll feel like you've been born again.
How long is it until the holes are done?
I'm done!
Oh, he's alive! You survived! Yay!
Once the holes are dry, you'll either use them to set new problems or you'll put them in the storage space. At this point you can get on with the setting. This particular day I got to set a few blocks on the steep wall. Setting a problem has different stages. First you have to select the holes you want to use. Then you have to think what kind of moves you want to set. And ideally you should also think of a cracks or feature move, something that characterizes the problem. Once you do all this, you try your best to reflect your thoughts on the wall while you try to set a problem that climbs well, makes sense within the grade range, and hopefully looks good so people want to get on it. On this day, I set 3 problems. A pink that was meant to be around V3, V4, a red V4 to V5, and a white V5 to V6. After we set, we clear the area and have a lunch break. We rest for a bit and then we start warming up before testing the problems. Testing is a fundamental part of setting. We try out each other's problems to see if they work. During this stage we usually do a lot of tweaking, meaning we usually have to modify what we've set because it doesn't work or it doesn't make sense within the grade range. This pink problem needed a tiny bit of tweaking at the bottom to force climbers to jump. At first we were able to reach out the first hole with one hand on the start hold. The rest of it worked fine, although I had to add an extra hold before the top, so it was a bit less reach dependent. The red problem felt harder than the pink, which is a good thing, and it didn't need any adjustment at all, which is quite unusual, so we left it as it was originally. First impressions on the white were good too, as it definitely felt harder than the other problems. The thought was forcing a toe hook while having the right hand on a pocket, so you can reach to a left hand crimp, and then a high risk move where you have to lunge for a good edge from this position. Unfortunately, the left crimp seemed way too far away and the move fell miles away from a V5 to V6 problem, so I decided to bring that crimp down to see if I could make it a bit easier. With the left crimp lower, it seemed like we had the desired launching position and the good edge in place. Now it looked like it could work and the whole problem would make sense for a V5 to V6 block. After all the tweaking, I was happy with the result and we had finished just in time to clear up the area. I have to say that setting is one of the coolest things I've ever had to do as a job. It's really interesting, you get to be creative, and you also get to climb. Nevertheless, setting days are pretty full-on days. They are quite physical and it is really hard work. You end up completely knackered. From my point of view, all the fun you have is worth the effort, and there's nothing you can compare it with when you see people having a good time on your problems. Anyway, I hope this video has given you enough insight of what it's like to be a route setter apprentice if you are thinking of becoming one. If I haven't covered anything you'd like to know, or you have any questions, please let me know in the comment section down below. If you enjoy the content, please like the video, drop me a comment and subscribe to the channel.